Hi, I'm Arjun Gupta.
Hi, I'm Olivia Dudley.
And we're here with Entrevista.tv.
The quest I bestow on you is the task you were born for. Claim it.
What can we expect from this season of The Magicians?
You can expect to be surprised more than you've been in the first two seasons. I think that this is our best season yet. I think from writing to acting to the work that the designers have done, everyone's as comfortable as they've ever been. I think everyone's freer to play, take bigger chances, and that leads to a season of TV that's very exciting and surprising, and I think it's going to be satisfying. I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, this season there's no magic, which is a really bold thing to do on a show called The Magicians. But it presented a really wonderful challenge that made some really fantastic things happen, really great work. And yeah, we had a lot of fun making this season, so I'm very excited for people to see it.
You said it was the best season so far, in your opinion. That reminds me that a few days ago you posted on Instagram that episode 4 was going to be one of your favorites.
Yeah.
We don't have it here yet, but will be soon, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why it is your favorite? And what?
Well, it was my personal favorite because of what I got to do as an actor on the show. It was also a favorite because Shannon Coley, who has been our camera operator for the last 2 seasons and still is through the 3rd season, was given the opportunity to direct her first episode. And that was thrilling to be a part of a community that supports, encourages growth from everyone in the crew, and gives an opportunity for people to take the next jump to the next level. It was very exciting. But from a story standpoint, I mean, it was David Reed took some a really big risk with what happens with Penny and what they do with him.
He's avoiding telling you what happens because he can't tell you
what
what happened.
Tell you what happened, but it's really fun and it was a lot of fun. But I have 5 favorite episodes of this season, so that's an Instagram post I'm going to be making a lot as this season goes on.
I want to ask, you dress like Penny or Penny dress like you?
Oh, I dress like Penny. I dress like Penny. I remember when thank you for asking that, because I think that the costumes and what Magali Vidashi has done for Penny, and I think for everyone on the show, is nothing short of remarkable. In the books, Penny is written to be a punk with a mohawk and a studded leather jacket. And so when I got cast, I started looking into mohawks and started looking like, what is that going to look like on me? And then I went into my fitting with Magali Vidashi, who's our costume designer, and she is just this, incredibly brilliant artist from the south of France who was just like, what is this? Let's bring in this and let's put this. And she had this whole idea of let's have it be somewhat of a gypsy. And we talked together, but she did the lion's share of creating what that look was, and it's been a joy to get to wear the clothes.
Thank you. And talking a little bit about Alice, she is one of the characters that changed the most throughout seasons. How was it for you to accompany that evolution from the most brilliant student at Brayfields to an infant and what?
Yeah, I had the great luxury of having a lot of Alice material to draw from in the books, and I knew right away how I wanted to play her, and that I wanted a lot of room to grow. I didn't know exactly where they were going to take her. I didn't know I was going to get to be a Niffin. I didn't know where they were going to take her, but I knew starting her out where I did as a very shy schoolgirl. Very complicated, of course, but starting her in that place gave me a lot of room to grow. And then I got very lucky because John and Sarah, showrunners, decided once Alice died, they would keep me on as a Niffin, which gave me endless possibilities of finding different ways of playing this character and exploring different parts of her, and it's just kept growing. The evolution of Alice has been my favorite thing to do in my career, because getting to be with a character this long, I know her better than anybody does, and anything they throw at me, I know how Alice would react, and it's nice to feel comfortable in it because it gives me the freedom to have her change and evolve and not keep her the same all the time, because I think that's how she should be. But
But
yeah,
finally-
Alice.
May I say one thing about Alice this season that's been really exciting is that we get to see her a little bit separated from Quentin. So that so much of the first 2 seasons was about their relationship, and in some ways it kind of, even in the Niffin, there was so much that was about the two of you.
Yeah.
It's nice to now in this season learn what actually happened as she was Niffin. We kind of hear about that through what the consequences she's facing, but also just, Alice is a human that's not tied to Quentin, and we get to learn more of who that person is, and that's really fun. That's just for me from the outside.
Yeah.
Did you get to experience it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might see a little bit of the old Alice back before she turned. I mean the old Alice not coming back, but there was a time she was a little bit disconnected from her emotions, especially at the Niffin part. We are going to see her coming back a little bit more human.
Yeah, she's a human again. She's not a Niffin anymore. But there's a piece of her that is still Niffin in her mind and is struggling with the fact that she loved being a Niffin. She did horrible things, and I think now as a human she's struggling with feeling guilty that she liked that, and feeling angry that she's a human. But yeah, she's a human again. She's got human emotions and is, she's complicated Alice like in the beginning. Yeah.
Like you said, this season there is no magic. You've been through this world where there was magic, and now there isn't. And for your characters, there are different opinions. But do you think the world was better with magic or without magic?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think the world is what it is, with or without magic, in that because it's the flaws that existed with magic, the flaws that existed in the world weren't solved by magic.
Yeah.
Nor were they heightened by magic. They were just problems, because the truth is the world is what it is. And magic is just a part of it. It's an energy that flows through the way that love is an energy that flows through. I think that's what's really profound to me about the books, was that magic doesn't solve anything. It just kind of is this part of the world.
Yeah, and
I mean, for them it sucks.
yeah.
For them it
That's
sucks.
that's a very good question for this season, because it's something you will see all the characters have to face, is how they feel about not having magic. Do they want it? Do they not want it back? And you get to see them as individuals answer that question.
You both referred the books. I assume you both read it, right?
Oh yeah.
They're a classic for anyone who loves fantasy.
Yeah.
But they are very different from the show, not in a bad way, just different. What are you thinking of the adaptation so far?
I think that anytime you adapt to a different medium like TV, it becomes a challenge, and I think that there are differences that have to be made. I'm grateful the way they've adapted it, because the way it is in the books, Penny's not really in it very much. So on that level, I'm very grateful. But I think that they, one of the things that's an opportunity is that we get to flesh out all of the characters more. Even Quentin, we get to flesh out more because we have more space. We get to see, who Elliot's background is. We get to see a little bit of his background this year, and we get to see more about Margot. We get to see a lot more of Penny. It's exciting.
Yeah, I think they've done a wonderful job of taking storylines and the characters from the books, but letting us play. And Lev, who wrote the books, speaks to this often, that he loves seeing it told in a little bit of a different way, because for him these characters are very personal to him, and getting to see them go off into the world and have new storylines and new relationships is very exciting to him. So yeah, I love the books. I love having the source material. I refer to them often with my character and when I'm working, but then you just kind of have to have the spirit of what Lev wrote, but then you kind of have to throw it away and do.
Was there something, some occurrence or some scene that you would like to see to come to life from the books and didn't happen?
We've gone through a lot of the books for Alice, so
I mean, there's a couple things. I mean, I'm curious. It's not that I'm attached to a certain scene or a certain sort of world. I've been fascinated, for example, how Penny ended up with the library. In the books, we never actually found out. So it was a really lovely opportunity to see how the writers created how Penny actually ended up at the library. The hands, the way they retold the hands story, again, that's an example where, you know, that's in the books. I mean, in the books they get eaten, and then he has like glowing hands, and then he's also like some weird monk at some point in the books. It's interesting to see how they reach these touch tones that they keep within the books.
You said before that we're going to find out more about Elliot and about Penny. Penny is the character which we know less about his past.
Yeah.
Are we going to find out something more about him this season? Because I think even the rest of the characters don't know where he comes from.
Yeah. No, we don't find out like a lot more about his past per se. I'm trying to think. There's like a couple lines here and there where you find out a little bit that are fun that the audience put in. But I mean, sorry, it's fun that the writers put in for the audience. But no, we get to find out more of who he is, though. We get to find out a lot more about who Penny is and where he's going. But no, I would love to kind of share that story of where he came from. That would be kind of thrilling.
But you know?
I have, so when we were auditioning for the pilot, I had my ideas on how this would be. I wanted to root Penny in something very truthful, not let him just be a dick, but like let it be, you know, because he's acting out, because he's scared, or because of whatever story I've created. And I ran it by Sarah as we were auditioning, and we're pretty much on the same page, but they have the license to do what they want.
To finish it, I just wanted to ask if any of you are doing any other jobs or projects at the moment besides The Magicians, or is full-time?
Well, we finished shooting this last season in December, so I was just doing press the last month or so, and I'm going to start a few of my own projects and producing and writing some projects that I'm working on right now, so that I'm going straight into that after this.
Yeah, we work for 6 months, and then the other 6 months we get to do, whether it's something for ourselves, traveling, or, you know, getting to spend time with family. Last year I got to work on a film in India. It was a joint Indian and UK production. It was an adaptation of Titus Andronicus, the Shakespeare drama, and it was very, it was an incredible experience on a number of levels. It's called The Hungry. It's out on Amazon Prime, so that's there.
There's a little black spot on the sun today.